Men. When a woman cheats, she rarely admits it. Instead, she flips the script. She doesn't just hide the truth, she redefines it, rewrites it, reshapes it, until you can't recognize what's real anymore. Before you even realize what's happening, you're the one apologizing. You're explaining yourself. You're defending your character. You're second-guessing your own memory, your own observations, your own instincts that have been screaming at you that something is wrong. Today, I'll break down the 6 ways cheating wives make you feel like you're the problem, and how they use guilt, manipulation, and psychological tactics to maintain control while actively betraying you. These patterns have been documented by marriage counselors, divorce attorneys, and relationship psychologists who've seen this playbook executed thousands of times. Understanding these tactics isn't about becoming cynical. It's about protecting your reality from being rewritten by someone with something to hide. Before we start, hit subscribe and drop a comment if you've ever felt blamed for things that didn't make sense. If you've ever apologized for being suspicious when your gut was telling you the truth. Your story might help another man recognize the same tactics before it's too late. And drop your city or country in the comments. I want to see where this message is reaching. Way 1. They accuse you first. The best defense is a good offense, and cheating wives understand this instinctively. When she's doing something wrong, she doesn't wait for you to discover it and confront her. She flips the blame before you can even formulate the question. Suddenly, without warning, you're the one who's acting distant, you're the one being cold, you're the one who might be unfaithful. You haven't accused her of anything yet. You've barely even processed your own suspicions. But somehow, you're already on the defensive, explaining where you've been, who you've talked to, why you've seemed preoccupied lately. Psychology behind it. This is projection, and it's one of the most effective manipulation tactics in the infidelity playbook. By accusing you first, she accomplishes multiple strategic objectives simultaneously. She shifts the emotional energy away from herself and onto you. She puts you in a defensive position where you're explaining yourself instead of investigating her behavior. She creates doubt in your mind about whether your suspicions are actually just paranoia or projection of your own guilt. Most importantly, she establishes a precedent. If you bring up concerns about her fidelity, you're just responding defensively to her accusations against you. Your legitimate questions become retaliation. Your valid concerns become deflection from your own suspicious behavior. It's psychological judo, using your own momentum against you. Real-life example. You've noticed she's always on her phone lately, angling the screen away from you, smiling at messages she won't share, staying up late texting after you've gone to bed. You finally work up the courage to ask casually, "Hey, you've been on your phone a lot lately. Everything okay?" Before you can even finish the sentence, she fires back with immediate aggression. "Why are you suddenly so paranoid? Why are you watching what I'm doing? Are you hiding something? Is that why you're projecting this onto me?" Now you're completely off balance. You weren't accusing her of anything. You were asking a simple question, but suddenly you're the one being interrogated. You're the one explaining yourself. "No, I'm not hiding anything. I was just asking because..." And while you're defending yourself, she's breathing easy. The conversation has completely shifted away from her behavior. By the time the argument ends, you're the villain. And she's free to keep lying, keep texting, keep maintaining her secret relationship while you're too busy proving your own innocence to investigate hers. Way 2. They twist every argument into your fault. Whenever you try to confront her about the growing distance between you, the secrecy, the changed behavior patterns, the unexplained absences, she doesn't explain, she doesn't provide reassurance, she doesn't address your concerns. Instead, she attacks your delivery. It's never about what you're saying. It's always about how you're saying it. Your tone was wrong. Your timing was bad. Your approach was insensitive. You're being negative, critical, accusatory, controlling, paranoid, or toxic. The actual issue, her avoidance, her secrecy, her emotional distance, never gets addressed because the conversation always derails into a meta-argument about your communication style. Psychology behind it. This is emotional inversion, a manipulation tactic where the person in the wrong repositions themselves as the victim and paints you as the aggressor. She transforms herself from the person who needs to explain her suspicious behavior into the victim of your poor communication skills or bad attitude. Your legitimate concern becomes an attack. Her deceit becomes a reasonable response to your unreasonable behavior. The script gets completely flipped until you're the one apologizing for bringing up concerns about behavior that was genuinely concerning. It's devastatingly effective because it exploits your desire to be a good partner. You don't want to be controlling. You don't want to be paranoid. You don't want to be the kind of person who interrogates their partner or makes them feel attacked. So when she frames your legitimate questions as attacks, you back down. You apologize. You promise to communicate better next time. And nothing gets resolved because nothing actually got discussed. Real-life example. You've noticed she never wants to spend time together anymore. Date nights get cancelled. She's always too tired, too busy, too stressed. When you're home together, she's physically present but emotionally absent. You finally bring it up. I feel like we never connect anymore. You seem distant. What's going on? Her response isn't to discuss the distance or address your feelings. Instead, she immediately attacks your framing. Maybe if you weren't so negative all the time, I'd want to spend time with you. You're always complaining. You're always making everything about you. Do you have any idea how exhausting it is being around someone who's constantly needing reassurance? Now, the conversation isn't about her pulling away. It's about your negativity. It's about your neediness. It's about how your behavior is driving her away. The real issue, her emotional withdrawal, possibly because she's emotionally investing in someone else, is completely buried under accusations about your personality flaws. You walk away from the conversation feeling like you're the problem, like you need to be less needy, less negative, more understanding of her stress. Meanwhile, she's texting the other man about how her husband just doesn't get her anymore. Way 3. They use guilt to control you. If you dare question her whereabouts, ask for clarity about inconsistencies in her stories, or request basic transparency about who she's spending time with, she doesn't provide answers. She acts hurt, wounded, betrayed by your lack of trust. You don't trust me? The question comes with wide eyes and genuine seeming shock. After everything I've done for you, this is how you treat me. I can't believe you think I'm capable of something like that. Suddenly, you're not a partner asking reasonable questions. You're a cruel person inflicting emotional pain on someone who's been nothing but loyal. Psychology behind it. This is moral manipulation, and it weaponizes your empathy against you. She's using your capacity for guilt, your desire to be a good partner, your fear of hurting her feelings. All of it gets turned into a tool to prevent you from seeking truth. The genius of this tactic is that it makes asking for honesty feel like an act of cruelty. You stop pursuing the truth not because you're satisfied with her explanations, but because you can't bear to keep hurting her feelings by asking legitimate questions. She's essentially trained you. Asking questions causes her pain, and you don't want to cause her pain, therefore you stop asking questions. Your natural empathy becomes the mechanism of your own deception. Real-life example. Her stories haven't been adding up. She said she was working late, but when you called her office, no one answered. She said she was at dinner with Sarah, but you ran into Sarah at the store, and she mentioned she hadn't seen your wife in weeks. You bring up these inconsistencies gently. Hey, I'm confused about something. Can we talk? Before you even get to the actual question, her eyes fill with tears. Her voice breaks. I cannot believe you're doing this. Do you really think I'm lying to you, after 7 years of marriage, after everything we've been through? I work myself to the bone for this family, and this is the thanks I get, being interrogated like a criminal. Now you feel terrible. You're the bad guy. You're the one who's broken the trust by suggesting she might not be telling the truth. In that moment, your need for answers crashes headlong into your desire not to hurt her, and your desire not to hurt her wins. You apologize. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I trust you. And she wins, not because she's innocent, but because she successfully weaponized your empathy to shut down your investigation. Way 4. They redefine distance as your fault. When she starts pulling away emotionally or physically, less affection, less communication, less intimacy, less presence even when she's in the same room, she doesn't acknowledge the withdrawal. Instead, she blames you for it. You've changed. You're not as affectionate as you used to be. You stopped making me feel special. She's rewriting history in real time, convincing both of you that you're the one who created the distance she's actually responsible for. Psychology behind it. This is justification building, a psychological process where she's constructing the moral framework that will allow her to cheat without feeling like the bad person. By rewriting the narrative so that you're the one who pulled away first, she creates retroactive permission for her betrayal. In her revised version of events, she's not betraying you. She's responding to your betrayal. She's not the one who broke the relationship. You broke it first by becoming distant or cold or inattentive. Her affair isn't the cause of the relationship's problems. It's the effect of problems you created. This serves two purposes. It manages her own guilt by externalizing blame, and it preemptively defends against your future accusations. When you eventually discover the affair, she'll already have the explanation ready. This is what happens when you stop caring about your wife. Real-life example. She's been emotionally checked out for months. Conversations are surface level. Physical intimacy has dropped off dramatically. She seems happier texting on her phone than talking to you. When you bring it up, expressing hurt that she seems so distant, she turns it around instantly. I'm distant. You stopped caring first. You used to bring me flowers. You used to plan date nights. You used to make me feel desired. When's the last time you did any of that? I'm just matching your energy. You're stunned because in your memory, you stopped making those romantic gestures because she seemed uninterested. You stopped planning dates because she kept canceling them. You stopped initiating intimacy because she kept rejecting you. But now she's claiming the opposite. That her withdrawal is actually a response to yours. And here's the insidious part. You start believing her. You start questioning your own memory. Maybe you did stop trying first. Maybe you did become complacent. You leave the conversation convinced that you need to try harder, be better, do more to win back her affection. Meanwhile, in her mind and potentially in future conversations, when the truth comes out, she's already established the narrative. You stopped caring first, so I found someone who appreciated me. The affair becomes your fault in the story she's writing. Way 5. They minimize what you notice. When you finally catch something concrete, a flirty text, an unexplained charge on a credit card, a photo she's tagged in at a location she said she wasn't at, she doesn't deny it. Denial would give the evidence too much weight. Instead, she minimizes it. She shrinks it down until it seems absurd that you're even mentioning it. It was just a message. Don't be dramatic. It's not a big deal. Why are you making it one? You're seriously upset over that? Wow. The message is clear. The problem isn't what she did. The problem is that you care about what she did. Psychology behind it. This is minimization combined with emotional gaslighting. She's trying to reshape your reality by changing the significance of events. What you perceived as a major boundary violation, she's reframing as a trivial nothing that only an insecure, jealous, or unreasonable person would react to. The goal is to make you feel crazy for caring. If she can convince you that your concerns are overreactions to meaningless events, you'll stop bringing them up. You'll stop trusting your own judgment about what crosses lines and what doesn't. The less you react to red flags, the freer she becomes to cross more and bigger boundaries without consequence. Real-life example. You pick up her phone to check the time and see a text notification. Last night was amazing, can't stop thinking about you. Your stomach drops. When you ask about it, she barely looks up. Oh my God, are you serious right now? That's Melissa talking about the concert we went to. You're really going to be jealous over a text from my girlfriend? Except the contact name is definitely male. But she's responding with such confident dismissiveness that you second-guess yourself. Maybe you misread the name. Maybe it is Melissa. Maybe you're being paranoid. Or you catch a clearly flirty emoji exchange with a male coworker. When you mention it, she laughs. It's an emoji. You're jealous over a laughing emoji. That's insane. We joke around at work. It doesn't mean anything. Are you really this insecure? By the end of her response, you're not thinking about the inappropriate intimacy of the exchange anymore. You're thinking about whether you're insecure, whether you're overreacting, whether you're the problem. And that's exactly what she wanted, for you to stop trusting your judgment and start doubting your perceptions. Way 6. They pretend to be the one who's hurting. When all other tactics fail, when you've pushed through the accusations and the guilt and the minimization, and you're still demanding truth, she pulls out the ultimate weapon. She becomes the emotional victim. Suddenly, the entire dynamic shifts. She's not the person who needs to explain suspicious behavior. She's the person suffering under your cruel suspicion. She cries. She says she can't handle your paranoia anymore. She claims she doesn't feel safe in the relationship because you're always questioning her. She's being emotionally damaged by your lack of trust. The affair, the lies, the betrayal, all of that disappears into the background. The only thing that matters now is that you're hurting her with your suspicion. Psychology behind it. This is empathic reversal, and it's perhaps the most manipulative tactic of all because it completely inverts the moral reality of the situation. She takes advantage of your natural instinct to protect her, comfort her, and care for her emotional well-being. The more you comfort her, the less you question her. If she's crying in your arms about how your suspicion is destroying her, you can't simultaneously be interrogating her about where she was last Thursday. Her tears shut down your investigation, and once again, through emotional manipulation, she wins. The conversation ends not with answers, but with you apologizing for pursuing answers. Real-life example. You've found undeniable evidence, messages that can't be explained away, timeline inconsistencies that don't add up, maybe even a confession from someone who saw her with another man. You confront her calmly. I just want the truth. I need you to tell me what's really going on. She starts sobbing. Not gentle tears, but body-shaking sobs. You're making me feel like a terrible person. I can't do this anymore. I can't live under this constant suspicion. You're destroying me. Every day I wake up knowing you don't trust me, and it's killing me inside. Your anger starts to dissolve. Your determination weakens. You find yourself comforting her instead of confronting her. No, it's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. But that's exactly the point. If she's the one suffering, if she's the one being damaged by the relationship dynamics, you'll stop pushing. You'll stop demanding truth because demanding truth causes her pain, and you're conditioned to prevent her pain. She walks away from the conversation with her secret intact, and you apologizing for trying to discover it. These 6 tactics aren't random behaviors. They're a coordinated psychological strategy designed to maintain control of the narrative while actively betraying your trust. Each tactic serves a specific purpose: to redirect blame, to shut down investigation, to manage your emotions, to rewrite reality, to minimize evidence, and to position herself as the victim of circumstances she created. If you're experiencing multiple tactics from this list, your instincts are probably correct. The confusion you feel isn't because you're crazy. It's because someone is deliberately trying to make you feel that way to protect their secret.